Hey, Mystic Michaela, spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today, do you believe in curses? Have you been cursed? Have you cursed someone else? Today, we are going to talk all about what curses are, and you decide, do you believe in them or don't you? Also, I have a really special update later in the podcast. One of our MMSF members shared such a wonderful story from getting a sign from a loved one on the other side, and it kind of ties into the podcast, so wanted to share that with you. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. All right. Curses.
All
right. Well, right off the bat, I'm skeptical.
Yes.
Okay, because I know we've talked about curses before in the past.
Yeah.
And how do you even define it? What is a curse?
What is a curse?
I looked it up. I'm like, how do you define this? What is a curse? And basically the definition is a magic spell placed upon somebody or a thing or an object with the intent of doing them harm in some way.
Okay.
So, basically you can put a curse on like a person, you can put it on a place, you can put it on a thing.
Right.
And in essence, what you're trying to do is cause them physical harm.
Right.
Maybe, or psychological harm, or even death.
Yes.
That's a curse.
I feel like the Bills were cursed.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think there is some sort of theory. It goes around. I've never looked into it, that the land that the stadium on is cursed.
Okay. Well, that could be, that one I believe.
You're like, that one out of all of them,
Yeah,
yes.
that curse I do believe. But, I mean,
Right.
in essence, and I was like researching, and I'm going to talk about in a little while how to put a curse on someone.
Oh.
But
Wow.
yeah, I'm going to teach
Whoa.
you. There's going to be a how-to.
It's kind of got a little negative.
Yeah, I know how to do it now.
Oh.
But the thing with this is, it seems very simple that first of all, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Are curses other than the Bills curse?
Other than that one.
Are they legit?
Well, okay. So in my work, and you and I, we've talked about this. We've talked about this on here.
Right.
Like, do not pay someone to remove a curse for you.
And that's
Just
where
don't
exactly.
do that. Like, no. I don't believe that people have power over you. So I don't believe that somebody can curse you or curse something or to the point where you don't have control over your own life or destiny anymore. I do believe in concentrated negative energy. I 100% believe in that, and I 100% believe that somebody could take all their concentrated negative energy towards you and direct it. And some people are better at that than others. But at the end of the day, it's your call. That's why we do a lot of cutting people out of our life and making sure we're not dwelling on things and trying to think about positive things instead of negative things when it comes to that. So I feel like you can get dragged into it more if you believe it can affect you.
Okay, so like for me, and I'm sure probably over the years many people have cursed me.
It's not going to affect you.
Yeah, probably like a very large percentage of people that I've come into contact with.
Yeah.
People all maybe even listen to this podcast, especially in the early days, were putting curses on me. But I don't feel like I've ever been cursed.
Because you wouldn't know it. Because you would never.
I just block it.
You don't receive it. You're like, I don't receive that.
No, I'm not receiving that.
I feel like if you can be affected by concentrated negative energy, there's some part of you that feels like you deserve it. Even if it's super subconscious, there's some part of you that feels like somebody's more powerful than you. I feel like it comes down to you believing you don't have control over your own life. So wherever that is in you, that's actually the issue that needs to be addressed. It could be guilt. It could be a self-worth issue. It could be just you feeling like, oh my gosh, I have no control over my life. I everything just, it's that a mentality or something. So I feel like you don't have any of that personally.
Okay.
Like I felt, just in life, how life goes, I felt when people have been negative towards me, and it affects me because I care. Because I do care and I internalize things. So if you pick up on a negative energy pattern from someone else and you internalize it, what you focus on grows. I mean, that's just law of the universe, law of attraction, right. Like attracts like. If I'm thinking negatively about myself in line with how somebody else is thinking about me, yeah, I'm going to manifest a reality that will match that. and will prove it to be true or whatever. So you have all the control.
Okay.
And I don't believe it's some sort of like in a movie, a magical spell or a curse that's put on you and somebody else has to break it or you have to do something.
Okay.
But growing up.
Yeah. So, I was going to ask you about that because you have an Irish background.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of, and this I think throughout many cultures, and I was looking it up, the evil eye.
Yeah.
And it seems like pretty much I just kind of look at you and I can give it to you.
Yes.
So, and I've gotten those looks a lot. So I'm assuming I've gotten the evil eye.
Yeah.
So what's that all about?
I don't know. Yes, it's a cross-cultural
cross-cultural.
thing.
I looked it up.
And all these things appear in all sorts of different cultures. But like growing up Irish Catholic, a big thing that we'd heard growing up was like, oh, she's giving me the evil eye, or I'd be like, hey, Megan, don't give me the evil eye, or you have to watch out for people giving you the evil eye, which is really just the stink eye, like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like, don't give me the stink eye or like the evil eye or whatever. And there was a fear attached to it. Like, hey, don't give me that evil eye. Like, you had to say something to them. Like, no, I don't think so. But some people would take it very seriously and then get out their rosaries. Or, I said 3 Hail Marys after she gave me the evil eye. Like, you can counteract it somehow. But all that is it's like, 1, it's going to make you have major spiritual OCD issues. And then 2, if you really think about it more in an energy way, you're just deflecting a negative thought towards you. Like, hey, I'm not owning that. I don't receive that. So whatever you saying a prayer or whatever you have to do that makes you help yourself not receive it is kind of what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But yeah, growing up, we heard that all the time.
Okay.
And apparently I was good at it. Like, I used to hear that.
Like
that
you were
a
good
lot.
at giving it?
Yeah, because I was really bad at.
Yeah.
I was a shy child, so but if I was mad, I'd just give a look.
The evil eye.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think you get it now sometimes too, and I'm sorry. I don't give you bad intent with it.
Okay.
It's just like, But yeah, I think these things, and just in doing readings, this is something that can be very embedded in a culture, and it feels literal. So it's something we have to watch out for. Okay. Because I think the overall is if you feel somebody has control over you, to have something happen to you that's out of your control, you don't want to happen. It's more of you needing to go in and be like, hey, where don't I feel safe in my life? And address that. Because nobody can do anything to you that, you have control. So don't pay anybody to do it.
And I think that's the key point. And I think probably the most important thing of this episode. And we've talked about it in the past, but right. Don't ever pay someone to remove a curse.
Please don't.
Okay. So you could, if you truly do believe in these curses and all these things, you could do it yourself.
Except for the bills. Except for
the bills.
Somebody's got to take care of that.
I know probably everyone's shouting right now their favorite sports team is also cursed. I think the Cubs have a curse with a goat.
Oh, really?
And the Red Sox used to have the curse of the Bambino.
They broke it or something.
Yeah, I think they broke it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sports curses, but... All right, so we're going to do a quick ad, but then when we come back, I am going to teach you how to put a curse on someone.
Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. All right, so the other day, I was at the pool. I was listening to the song Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads.
Yeah.
Perfect, because I'm putting on curses on people and everything.
Right.
And I always wondered what the line after he says Psycho Killer is.
It's like Psycho Killer, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm learning French on Babbel,
okay.
I know what it means.
What does it mean?
It means, what is it? Babbel's courses have been so convenient, and they've helped me learn real-life conversation skills in French. It's so easy to pick up on how to order food or ask for directions, speak to merchants without having to consult language apps when I'm on vacation or when I'm learning new things or even watching movies. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps me to improve my pronunciation and accent. And let me tell you, I love Babbel's little culture moments. They teach you specific ways you should say things that would sound best culturally in the moment so you don't seem so out of place when you're traveling. And here is a special limited time deal for our listeners to get you started right now. Get 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/aura. Get 55% off at babbel.com/aura, spelled BABBEL.com/aura. Rules and restrictions may apply. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
Okay, so apparently Scotty here has become a witch. And I don't know what he's going to say. Just forgive me ahead of time. I did not look at any of this. He's going to teach you how to put a curse on someone.
Yeah, because, I was given the task of, doing the opening, and, I was going to do, like, the history of curses, and I was going to talk about some Egyptian curses and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Ray. I probably got that.
I know that one.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yeah.
And Tutankhamun and all those guys. And I'm like, no, wait a second. And I started looking up how to do a curse.
Okay.
And now I'm going to share that info with you.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's put it this way.
Okay. People are taking notes right now.
Yeah. I want
just
you to
so
take
you
notes.
know, like somebody just grab their little notepad and their pen and they're ready.
I'm going to kind of try to do this like a cooking show. Or maybe, in Guy Fieri shows you all the ingredients that goes into a dish when he's at one of the restaurants.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to yellow this for you.
Okay.
This is going to be good. And first things first, this is going to be an ethical way to do a curse.
Oh, this is ethical.
Yeah. There's going to be, yes.
Ethical curses.
Ethical curses.
Only on KYA.
Right. And then, of course, if you do these curses and then, you need to get rid of them, just call me and we can work something out.
What?
Okay.
This is very morally objectionable.
It is. Okay. The first thing you have to do, the prep is big. With the curse, the prep is the main thing.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I can see this, like cauldrons and things.
Yeah, number one. But now, wait, before you even start getting your items, like your nails and, hair and all that.
Okay.
You have to be aware of the possible outcomes. Okay. Because if someone, if you put this curse on someone, it could lead to possible, death, injury, things like that. So you have to be very aware of this.
Okay.
And like if you tell someone that they've been cursed, it could set them off because a lot of people believe in it.
Yeah.
And, they could also spend thousands of dollars trying to get it removed. So you have to be aware of the possible outcomes.
Okay.
So like you can't just go into real angry.
Right.
Like I don't want you to when you're doing this curse, I want you to be in
you need a level mind.
A level mind.
Cool, calm,
right.
collected.
Right. The guy just cut you off on the road and you're
Right.
about to put a curse on him.
No.
No.
I feel like I would work best that way.
Yeah.
But you're seeing it's a dish best served cold.
Exactly. Wait, take some time.
Okay.
Rest, maybe sleep on it.
Really?
And then if you still feel that you really need revenge on this person and curse them, okay. All right. Next, you have to also know this. What you give out could come back to you.
Oh, yes, 100%. I believe that.
So reap what you sow.
Yes.
So meaning and it could boomerang back to you even harder.
Yeah, 3 times.
3 times. Did you look this up?
No, that's just, I know
You know
that.
that? Oh,
you put energy, any energy you put out, it comes back to you.
Right.
That's why you rather put out the good stuff than the negative stuff.
Okay. So you could get it back 3 times as much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then after that, fine. You're going to get it, possible outcomes. And then just, for a second, consider maybe just moving on. Maybe just forgiving the person and telling them, is this, or maybe saying, is this really worth it?
Right.
Do I really want to get involved with this? Take all the emotion out of it.
You're saying apathy versus curse them.
Right. That's always the best one.
Mm-hmm.
But now you've decided that you want to curse somebody. Okay. So just like in a Mystic Michaela workshop, you set your intention.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So you have to set your intention. So you have to sit down and you have to think about what you want to happen to this person. And you have to make it very clear.
Okay.
So, I don't know. You always teach people how to set intentions. But
You're
this
being
is
sarcastic, right?
No, I'm being serious.
Can't believe you're teaching people.
You have to set an intention.
Okay.
Because, you can't, let's say you want to curse, I don't know, person X. You have to really say, I want this to happen to them.
I want them to lose their hair.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want them to develop a cold.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can go higher levels. You want this, that's what I'm saying. It can cause death. You could wish death upon them.
I want them never to find love again in their life.
Right, or something like that.
Okay.
So,
ouch.
Yeah, you have to make this very clear.
Okay.
And then, so you set your intention, and then you must protect yourself.
Okay.
Because, it can come back to you 3 times.
Right.
So if the person dies, you're going to die 3 times. So you say... or something, yeah.
Okay.
So a protection spell, get your crystals out, your amulet, all this stuff. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
So now you are ready to gather your materials.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm teaching people how to do a curse. I'm getting this look like, oh.
I don't like this.
God.
All right.
You like it. All right. All right. So what are you going to need for this? Okay. So here's what you have to get. You got to get a pickle jar.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah, and take all the pickles out. Take everything out.
Empty pickle jar.
Empty pickle jar.
Clean it out.
Clean it out, yeah.
Take off the label.
Yeah, you don't want that pickle juice on the bottom. That could make everything sticky, and who knows what's going to happen with that curse if that happens. Okay. All right, then you need like what they call a poppet, which is like...
Oh, yeah, a representation of the person.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, you can use a doll for that. Whatever you have laying around the house.
I think you're supposed to make one out of their own materials.
That's like next level. But yeah, that's next level.
It's not that I do that. I just happen to know that.
You know a lot about these curses.
You're supposed to use their own hair. They're their materials.
Yeah. Well, okay, right. Well, that's something else. That's just the poppet.
Oh.
So the poppet's the doll. But that'd be hard to get. But yeah,
I guess 2.0 poppet.
Yeah.
Making. Okay.
All right. Then you need like a piece of their hair.
Yeah.
So then that's like tricky. You have to probably come into contact with them, pull their hair or something, cut it.
Yeah.
A nail clipping would work.
Yeah, just random advice. If you're really pissing someone off in life, flush your hair and your nails down the toilet.
Yeah.
People will collect that stuff.
Yeah, I leave my nail clippings all over the house.
Ew.
So that would be easy for you guys.
Okay.
Okay. And anything else would work. Like a photograph would work. Anything like that. Anything from them. Other DNA type samples. I don't know. Whatever you need to do. Okay. Then you must write your target's name down.
Your target? Okay. All right.
Okay. Your target's name down on a piece of paper.
Scott.
Now be careful here.
Oh.
Because you want to make sure you get the right person.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
What if you don't know their full name? What if they cut you off in traffic? You don't know their name.
Well, if you misspell their name,
No, come on.
Yeah.
Really?
You need to get their name.
Really? You need straight up birth given name.
Yeah. Like if it's
legal name.
Like if it's Michelle and you spell it with one L and it's supposed to be two, like Michelle Johnson, let's say. Okay, then that's not going to work.
There's like a billion Michelle Johnsons.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. But and don't use their IG handle. Like you're not going to want to use Scotty Ross 40.
Okay.
That wouldn't work. You can't use their Twitter or X, whatever they call it now.
So people just go by aliases. Nobody can curse you. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Everyone can curse you. Then so now you got your pickle jar, you got the poppet.
Right.
You got the nail clippings.
Right.
You got the name. And now you need the substance. And this is where this was disturbing. Oh. I was disturbed myself, what they were telling you to get.
Like what?
Well, you can get anything. You can get like a rusty nail. Okay. You can get vinegar, poison.
Okay.
Urine. You could put urine in there.
All right.
You could. Yeah, that's what they told me. I don't know who told me, but that's what they told me.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to on the internet? When I just leave you in the office because I'm getting a little nervous.
You could put a match in there.
What?
You could put some people put graveyard soil.
Are you working out of a strip mall shop doing this stuff?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You got to put it in there.
All right, graveyard soil.
They even said if you put red pepper flakes in there.
So what for? How do you put it in? You mix it all up?
Yeah, if you're going to use the urine, I guess you just pour it in.
With their
you can go straight to jar if you're a guy, I guess, or something. Yeah.
With the poppet?
With the poppet, with the nail clippings, with the
photo or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
You put it all together.
And their name?
And their name. Yeah, the name in there. Yeah, so if you use ketchup, you can throw ketchup in there, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you want. And then you put it in there.
Mm.
You seal it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you just seal it with wax. Use wax.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wax?
Wax.
Oh.
Yeah, seal it with wax, burn the wax and let's make a seal. And then you shake it. So you shake everything up.
Mm-hmm.
You shake it all up. Then you hide it, put it away out of sight.
Yeah, sometimes people find these.
Yeah.
Thanks, by the way. Don't ever open one if you find one.
Yeah, you didn't find the one I did you?
No.
and then you forget about it.
Oh.
And then you just put it out there into the universe.
And it's over.
Yeah, and that's how you create a curse.
Pickle jars.
Pickle jar.
That's not so hard.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's fairly easy.
I feel like these things are so silly because life itself is so full of misfortunes that these people making these pickle jar curses are just taking credit for like a misfortune that would have happened anyways to somebody.
Okay.
So
You think? Okay.
yes,
So-
I do. I do not believe this works.
Well, if you do try it,
Having said that, people do find these things like these. I know what you mean, like these sealed things.
Yeah.
Like if you ever or poppets or so, I would
Yeah.
never touch it.
yeah, okay. Because the intention in there is real bad.
Yeah, like people make stuff. Like sometimes, oh my gosh, like people will find things. I think even on the Facebook page, people were like, took down a wall and I found this. What the heck is that? You know, it's like, don't touch it. Like, and then you never know what to do with it. Like,
Right.
what do I do with it? Like, what do you do with it? You burn it? Like, what do you do if you find it?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to touch it. You don't want to deal with it. Because I believe in negative energy, but I still, not curses, but I still wouldn't mess with this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so many flaws here, too. I mean, like,
Yeah.
like the name. Like, let's say your name's Michael Smith. I mean, like
Oh,
you
so
said,
you don't believe in it now?
well, I do believe in mine. Like the one that I showed you how to do. But I don't believe in anyone else's.
Got it,
Yeah.
Scott.
If I were to do it, because God knows what I put in
Hopefully
it.
everybody knows that segment was satirical. I'm sure they do.
Well, you never know.
I am sure they do.
All right, let's take a quick break. Then when we come back, we're going to do some famous curses.
What does it mean to live life the way you want to live it, to be authentically you? Way gives you the confidence to live your life your way with hair and body products made for effortless routines. They really empower you to do what works for you. For me, my hair routine with Way is really about making myself feel loved and good and empowered. And Way's products are a way in which I do that. I use plenty of Way's hair products, but one that I am currently obsessed with is their best-selling hair oil. I use a lot of heat on my hair, so I love this multitasking oil that smooths frizz and seals split ends for a high gloss, super smooth finish, which I put on right after I apply heat, and it's that finishing touch for my hair. It's also not just for looks. It is nutrient packed, it absorbs quickly, and it revives your damaged hair really easily. It's packed with African galalanga, ama, and Asian barrage oils to keep color from fading and protect hair from heat damage. So spend time on yourself. Spend time thinking about what you need, what your hair routine needs. Whether you've got fine, medium, or thick hair or multiple hair concerns, you'll find what you need at Way. Not sure what your type is? Take their hair quiz to find the way that works for you. Live life your way and get your fast fix for healthy looking hair. Go to theway, TheOuai.com and use code Aura for 15% off any purchase. That's theway, TheOuai.com, code Aura. Scott here has now researched some curses, and he's going to tell us about one of them. What do you got, Scotty?
All right, so I was going through them, and this one really caught my eye. It's the curse of James Dean's car.
Okay.
If you don't know James Dean, he was a Hollywood actor. Lived a short life. He was born in 1931, and he died in 1955. So if you do some quick math, 24. Died at 24 years old. He was like in the prime of his Hollywood career.
Right.
He kind of jumped on the scene when he was like 18, 19, I believe. Again, I don't know. I'm not a James Dean historian, but around 18, 19.
Yeah.
And he was like just Rebel Without a Cause was one of his famous movies. He was like in the height of it.
Yeah.
But he was also a guy that took a lot of risks. You know, he was kind of like the guy he played on the big screen. You know, he also did a lot of like car racing. He was like an amateur or I don't know. He might even not a professional car racer, but
right.
like novice. What would you call that? Like a novice car racer,
Yeah.
amateur.
Yeah,
did a lot of car racing, and he gets killed in 1955 prematurely from on his way to a car race.
Oh, wow.
And supposedly his car that he bought is cursed.
Was that the car he was in when he died?
Yes, the car that he was in that he died.
And it wasn't totaled?
Well, let me get to the story.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So in 1955, James Dean turns in his old race car and buys a Porsche 550 Spider. Ooh. And we'll put this picture on the Mr. Michaela Spiritual Family page. He names it the little bastard. That's what he calls the car. Anyway, this is what Alec Guinness, he was Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, said when he first saw the car. Okay, I thought this was interesting. All right. So he writes, in fact, little bastard had caused upset almost from the moment Dean bought it. A week before the fatal crash, British actor Alec Guinness in Los Angeles had a very ominous feeling on seeing the Porsche and would later write in his diary. Okay, and this is what he wrote. The sports car looked sinister to me, exhausted, hungry, feeling a little ill-tempered in spite of Dean's kindness. I heard myself saying in a voice I could hardly recognize as my own, please never get in it. If you get in that car, you will be found dead in it by this time next week.
Stop. And Obi-Wan Kenobi said that.
It wasn't Obi-Wan Kenobi yet, because Star Wars came out in the 80s. Or 70s. But if Obi-Wan Kenobi tells you that, don't get in that car.
No.
But James Dean got in that car.
Oh, my God.
And September 30th, 1955, a week later,
he was
on the way to the races, didn't even get to the races, and a guy, I don't think it really was his fault, another car came in a head-on collision.
Oh, my God.
Killed him.
Oh, my God.
Total dead.
That's terrible.
Dead. James Dean's dead.
Okay. So that must have been such a shock, because if you see his picture, he's so handsome.
Yeah, right.
And he's so young, and he was probably like the hottest actor. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a hot 24-year-old actor today that everyone would like freak out about or something if they died.
He's like my Brad Pitt.
Right. But
he's my Bradley Cooper.
Right. So it'd be like if Timothy Chalamet passed or something. Everyone would be, oh, he's so young. Oh my God, he's so handsome. Like that kind of
one of those. Yeah, the guy, one of the Spider-Men or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay. So I mean, I don't know if it. What was James? Could you tell James Dean's aura?
Yeah, he's red and purple. So it makes sense. He was like a risk taker and flashy, and really into feeling alive.
Okay.
Like a lot. So that red purple energy.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. All right. So you would think at this point the car's total. This is the end of the story.
Yeah.
End of the line. Let's get rid of this car, junk it, whatever. But it gets bought for parts.
Oh.
And there's a little confusion here on who actually gets the car, where the car actually goes. Mm-hmm. The biggest name associated with it is a guy named George Barris.
Okay.
Who we'll get to in a second.
Okay.
But let me give you what happens after. Okay. So a Dr. William Esrich, I think is his name, gets the actual engine.
Oh, he gets the engine.
He gets the engine, and he puts it into his race car, his Lotus 9. He has a Lotus 9, and he puts the engine into that race car.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah, okay. And then he had a fellow doctor, McHenry, takes the parts of the suspension and the transmission, and he puts it into his race car.
So there's two separate race cars with the parts from the one car that James Dean died in.
Right. So the Spider, the Porsche 550 Spider that James Dean died in.
Right.
So the suspension and transmission goes into one guy's car, one doctor's car, and the other doctor gets the engine. The rest of it is still intact, like the body and all that. And that's in the hands of this guy named George Barris.
Okay.
Okay. They go to a race.
Oh. Yeah.
McHenry's dead, dies in the race.
What?
Yes. And the other doctor is severely injured.
Who was on with the engine?
That's the guy who's severely injured.
Okay.
And the other guy died. In the race with those parts in the cars.
Okay.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. And this is very soon after. This is 1956.
Okay.
But this car still around. The body of it is left.
Okay, so the other things got destroyed, and now it's the body.
Right. So now they're kind of redoing things to it, and it's in the hands of this guy named George Barish. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'll go a little more, and then you tell me about him, but because he's kind of where I'll see if I'm a believer or not.
All right.
In 1959, so the car's away for a little bit. 1959, car's in storage, catches on fire.
What?
Yeah.
Just randomly?
Randomly catches on fire.
Weird.
No other car in the storage caught on fire.
Stop.
Nothing really
Was
happy to the
anybody
car
in
either.
there? Did they know about it? Did it have like, you know what I mean? Like a target on it?
Right. And that's why, again,
Was it already kind of hyping about the curse or not yet?
Well, that's where this George Barris character comes into play.
Okay.
So 2 of the tires were sold. So allegedly,
Before the fire or
this was probably in between the 2 deaths of the doctor, the one death of the doctor and the other doctor that got hurt, and then in the caught in the fire.
Got it.
The 2 tires are sold.
Uh-huh.
The person claimed that bought the tires. The 2 tires blew out at the same exact time while they were driving on the highway.
Creepy.
That person was severely injured.
That's creepy. I mean,
Okay. We're not done with this car yet.
For real?
No. So Barris decides he's going to put it on display. There was a bystander who was looking at the car. Apparently, the car fell onto the bystander and broke both his legs.
What?
Yeah. Then there's another story.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of
How
stories
did
with
it
this
fall
car.
on him? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't from the display.
How does a car fall on you?
Yeah. Then they were
Question.
They were delivering the car from Miami to LA.
So moving it around.
First of all, there's a lot of issues there, you know,
Yeah.
because it's in Miami, some South Florida purple.
Okay.
And the driver that was
Transporting it?
transported got killed.
How? Like while
in
he
an
was
accident.
driving it?
Yeah, in an accident.
While he was pulling the car.
Well, yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah,
And the car was fine?
yeah. It was like in the trailer.
Wait, when it caught on fire.
That was in 1959.
Oh, okay.
So this is after. It caught
Okay,
on fire.
so they-
oh yeah, there was no real damage when it
Really?
caught on fire.
Yeah, that's what was my question.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then in 1960, nobody knows where it is.
What?
No,
It
nobody-
just disappeared?
It disappeared.
Well, they should know who last bought it.
Nobody knows where it is.
What?
Yep.
So, okay.
Well, Barris was the owner. This guy, George Barris,
Yeah.
was the owner through all of this.
Okay.
And he was transporting it again.
And he doesn't know where it is?
You tell me. We can
It
look at
probably
this
got
picture.
stolen or something.
I don't know. But, so here's my question. Let's look
Yeah.
at George Barris.
Okay, so this is this old guy you sent me?
Yeah. Yeah, he was probably younger then because
Okay.
this was the 60s.
Well, he's red purple too. That's the first thing that's interesting to me.
Right. So the question here now is, we know that James Dean died in the car.
Yeah.
We're not going to argue that happened.
Mm-hmm.
After all that, it gets fuzzy. There's different stories. If you read different accounts, you'll hear about like different doctors getting the pieces of the car. You'll read about different times when the car was being transported and it fell on like the boy's legs and
Right.
how did that happen?
Right.
The fire, the mysterious fire.
Right.
So my question is this a curse
Yeah.
that was put on this car? And maybe you could look at the car for us and tell us.
Yeah.
Or is it this guy, George Barris, taking a story of a Hollywood, heartthrob.
Yeah.
And taking his Porsche and making a story of the curse.
But where's the
after it.
Porsche now?
And I don't know.
That
we don't know.
That's the hole in it. Because if he was, so you're saying like,
But maybe that added to the mystery too.
You're saying, is this George Barris trying to make this story?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Interesting
Yes.
about him.
Yes.
But then if he was like that,
Yeah.
he would have it. He's red purple.
Okay.
He would have it on display somewhere.
Well, he was for a while.
Okay.
Keep on putting it on display, and all
Yeah.
these weird things were happening.
Right.
Supposedly.
Is he married? Because
I don't know anything about George Barris.
Okay. I sense, this is just super random, a woman around this whole thing that put her foot down somewhere.
Okay.
And I don't know what that means.
So
I don't know what that means. It feels like a woman energy coming through and being like, enough. I don't know if that means like we stick it somewhere and we just put a sheet over it and move on, and we don't talk about it anymore. We kind of put the car to rest or, maybe. Personally, if it was me with that car,
Yeah.
I would say a prayer over it and I would put it out of the limelight and like almost quasi bury it or something.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
does that car look evil to you in that picture?
So when you gave me a picture
are you
of
like
James,
Obi-Wan Kenobi?
well, you gave me a picture of James Dean in the car. It just doesn't look safe.
Okay.
That's all. If you saw this car and probably this would never pass today
Right.
in any sort of way, safety standards for a car.
Right.
If you're racing in this car, chances are you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So to me, it just doesn't look like a safe
Yeah,
car.
and there wasn't that many of them built. It was a specialty car.
It doesn't look safe.
Yeah.
If you see it, like if this car flips over, you don't have a head anymore. Like this is not.
Right.
If somebody hits you, you're flying out of it. I mean, to me, Obi-Wan Kenobi might have just been like, that doesn't look like a safe car
Right.
for a young man who's so flippant about his personal safety. And I can be skeptical too. So that's what I get on it. And then after that, 100%, I feel like the car itself probably, he named the car.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, he was very attached to this car, James Dean. So whenever people are attached to an object like that, I do feel like energy can permeate through it or whatnot. And also, like, sometimes negative energy or sad energy or misfortunate energy. So I feel like the car itself might hold some negative energy, just like a crystal might hold energy, or anything might hold energy. Things hold things. So I feel like it held the negativity of that.
Okay.
I personally would. That's why I don't, we're all superstitious about stuff like that. Would you use a car seat that some other kid had an accident in? No. Every mother's like, no, like not at all. You know, like
Right.
you don't reuse things. And sometimes that's why I don't like antiques either personally, just because they hold energy and it's like messy to me. Anyways, I just think it was an unsafe car, and Obi-Wan Kenobi's like, combination of red, purple, risk taker, young Hollywood, feels like he's immortal, dude, plus this car with like 0 safety features equal, plus we like to race equal, you won't be alive in a week.
Yeah, well, that makes sense to me.
But like, that is crazy.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, the guy that got into an accident that killed James Dean, there was not even a scratch on him, basically.
Whoa, that's weird.
And but
what
like,
was he driving?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But like I'm saying, you're right. Look at this car.
If you see this car,
and
you're
we're
like,
show you this
oh.
car, and
like, that doesn't look very safe.
it doesn't look safe. And and it all makes sense. And maybe in 1960, you're right. Maybe this woman told him, get rid of this car already.
I just have this feeling there's some woman involved, and she's like, let's put it to rest.
Yeah.
You know?
There's theories that, maybe that added to the mystery. I don't know. Like,
he's too flashy, this George guy.
Yeah.
He, to me, it's funny because he's like the same colors as James Dean.
That's funny.
To me, he's too flashy not to put it out. If he had it, it would have been put out.
Okay.
But I just feel like somebody was like, no, we're not doing that. We're putting it away, or, who knows? Unless he's just going to, and I can see him like eventually, I bet he knows where it is, if that's the question. I bet he knows where it is 100%. And I could see him, though, like eventually.
It could have also been torn up for parts.
I don't know. I could see he knows where it is. He's too, and maybe it's not on display. Maybe he's like just going with it disappeared thing, and then eventually he sells it for a crazy amount of money, like at some other time in the future. But
I mean, this car is really old now. It's like 1955.
Oh, well,
so.
I mean, people love that.
Yeah, they do. All right. Let's take a quick break. Then I have another curse that I really got into.
This episode of Know Your Aura is brought to you by Wild Grain.
Yes, Wild Grain. I have to tell a quick story. Our oven broke.
It did.
And everyone, first of all, everyone knows I'm Mr. Big Bucks.
Yep.
But I had to get a new oven. That was it. And the number one reason and this is the honest truth.
This is the truth.
I wouldn't have got it otherwise. The number one reason I got a new oven, Wild Grain.
Yep.
We had stuff. We just put it all in.
We had a Wild Grain feast.
Brownies, croissants, sourdough bread, the pasta, everything.
We made it all.
Yeah.
And the baking process is from frozen in 25 minutes or less. It is no thawing required. It is the first ever bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, fresh pastas, and artisanal pastries. The team at Wild Grain just sent me a new box, and we just had a whole feast from our new oven. As you can now fully customize your Wild Grain box so you can get any combination of breads, pastas, and pastries you like. If you want a box of all bread, all pasta, or all pastries, you can have it. Plus, for a limited time, you can get $30 off the first box, plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/KYA to start your subscription. You heard me. Free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/KYA. That's wildgrain.com/KYA, or you can use promo code KYA at checkout. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
I guess you have another curse for us.
Yeah, I really got into this one.
Ooh, all right.
It's the curse of Chief Cornstalk.
That was his name?
Yeah, that's what it translated to.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
All right.
They didn't go around. Hey, Cornstalk. That's what it translated to in our language. But anyway, so this one takes place in the Ohio River Valley. We've talked about this area before. People know that I'm enthralled with this area. It's where West Virginia meets Ohio, and the Ohio River splits the two region. We've talked about people having very strange feelings and vibes when they go to West Virginia or this area of the country, right? I think we even put a post on the Miss Michaela Spiritual Family page. Everyone's like, yeah, whenever I get in there, I'm freaked out. So it could go back to this curse of Chief Cornstalk, which goes back to the American Revolution.
Okay.
So
what year was that?
Okay, so Cornstalk, they believe, was born in 1720, and we're talking about 1770s, around there, okay? All right, so Chief Cornstalk, he was the Shawnee tribe. He was the leader of the Shawnee tribe, and in that area, probably, and maybe other tribes would contest this, but probably the most powerful tribe. So you can consider him maybe the most powerful man of that time in the area. Because you have the British, you have the American colonists, and you have the Native Americans.
Ugh.
And if we're saying the Shawnees were probably the strongest, again, we can dispute that. But then he would make him one of the most powerful men in the whole area. Even maybe more powerful than any British general or American revolutionary.
Okay.
All right. So
it was a big tribe.
Yeah, it was a big tribe, and there was other tribes in the area, and he had basically his role was he wanted to kind of keep a peace going.
Okay.
So he had worked at times with the British. He had also worked at times with the colonists. But really, in general, he was working to keep a peace for his people.
Okay, just a balance. Okay.
Eventually, Cornstalk said, I'm not going to do what the British want me to do. And they took him as a captive.
Oh.
The writings say that in a sense he was a captive, but it wasn't like he was harshly treated at this point.
Okay.
It was more like, hey, come on, could you do this for us?
Right.
And he's not going to do it.
What did they want him to do?
They I think they wanted some maps of the area or battle plans to get to the colonists, but he wanted it to be more peaceful.
Right.
And they kind of wanted him to escalate the war.
Got it. Okay.
So it was kind of like that.
He's like, you're not going to use me as your helpful tool to get an advantage on these people. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Right.
And then his son came to visit him. So but then they actually took him captive.
Oh, they took the son captive too?
So some people say he was not really captive. He was there on his own accord because he didn't get he kind of went on his own. Like he went there. He didn't to the fort where they were holding him, the British fort.
Maybe it was they had those guest captives sometimes.
Yeah, something along those lines. So anyway, him and his son are captives. We'll call them captives in this fort. All right, so that's that. As it so happens, the next day after the son is taken captive, a British soldier is killed by a Native American. Okay. Something totally unrelated to Cornstalk and his son.
Right.
And another British soldier is hurt.
Okay.
This sets off in the fort, though.
Right.
They're going crazy. The British soldiers are going nuts. They're freaking out.
Okay.
They're upset that the natives just killed one of their men.
Right.
There's 2 captives.
Oh.
And there's a couple other captives as well.
Yeah.
So they go into where they were holding them prisoner and basically, I don't know, in cold blood, kill the son, and they kill Chief Cornstalk.
Oh, my God.
In just a fit of rage.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do with it.
No, he had nothing to do with that at that point.
Yeah.
He just happened to be there.
And it's not like there's any communication back then. I always feel like I have to remind people this because I got kids, and I remember there weren't phones and there wasn't an internet. There was no TikTok viral video going around where you knew what was happening. Right.
All right. So now they claim he was shot 8 times.
Oh.
Okay. So while he's laying there dying, supposedly he puts on this legendary curse.
Oh, that's when to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to do it.
This is it.
This is
right.
the time. Go Cornstalk.
Do you want me to read it? Or all right, I'll try my best to read it. We know I'm bad.
Do you want me to read it? Why are you nervous to read it?
Yeah, maybe.
Here, give it to me.
You see where the quote is? I was.
All right, so this is what he said.
Yeah.
Well, okay. This is what they said he said.
Yes.
I was the border man's friend. Many times I have saved him and his people from harm. I never warred with you, but only to protect our wigwams and lands. I refuse to join your pale-face enemies with the redcoats. I came to the fort as your friend and you murdered me. You have murdered by my side my young son. For this, may the curse of the Great Spirit rest upon this land. May it be blighted by nature. May it even be blighted in its hopes. May the strength of its people be paralyzed by the stain of our blood.
Yeah. Whoa. So there's so you remember what I talked about setting an intention.
Oh, he was specific.
Okay. Now.
Yeah.
People, hold on to whatever if you're driving, stop.
Pull over.
Hold on to your seats. Hold on to something.
Buy a hat and hold on to it.
Hold on to your loved one. It happened in Fort Point Pleasant.
The Mothman?
Mothman!
Oh, my God!
Point Pleasant!
Oh, my God!
Point Pleasant.
Oh, that's where, like, all the bridge happened?
Yes.
Like, what?
So eventually, at that time, Point Pleasant was just a fort.
Oh, my God.
Later, it turned into a town.
Okay.
Where this all happened. They buried him in the area. Then they kind of dug him up, buried him somewhere else. Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. That's never good.
Switcheroos with the burial. And this area, of course, is Mothman.
We talked about that.
Many tragedies.
Episode 146, we talked about that. Isn't there also some sort of, oh my gosh.
Oh, there's a list.
I forget. Yeah. Isn't there, because he said blight upon the land.
Blight upon the land.
So wasn't there something with the environment there or something?
Yeah, remember the land went, there was a lot, well, there's been a lot of cases of like cancers in the area. People, like we said, have this weird, strange feeling when they go through it. We always, when we go to West Virginia, we're always like, what's going on here?
Right. It's the land. It's like feels land. Funny. Yeah.
And again, then with the desecration like of his moving of his body and all that stuff. But again, it happened at Point Pleasant Fort. 1907, worst coal mining disaster in American history took place in this region.
Yeah.
1944, 150 people are killed with a tornado, ripped through that area. Again, tornadoes happen other places too. It is a coal mining region, so we could, make those case. Of course, 1967, the big one, which one I'm fascinated with is the Silver Bridge collapses.
Yes.
And I think, how many people died? 46 people died. And then, of course, the sightings of the Mothman were there. And the Men in Black, all that.
Men in Black, yeah. And like that weird creature that was talking to that guy or whatever.
Yeah.
What was his name again? Oh, my God, I forget.
Oh,
oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God, Ingrid
Cole.
Ingrid Cole.
Ingrid Cole.
Oh, my God.
We have 1978 freight train derailed at Point Pleasant, dumping thousands of toxic chemicals.
Yeah.
I think that's what you were referring to.
Yeah.
Chemicals contaminated the town's water supply and wells and had to be abandoned.
Oh, my God. So Point Pleasant.
1978, Willow Island Power Plant killed 51 people died right near Point Pleasant again.
Yeah. And don't they have all those like unexplained light situations like in that one part of like over that factory or something?
Yeah, the lights and they built like a statue of them. And they of Chief Cornstalk, and they also said like weird things happen with the statue,
like what, like
weird lights and orbs.
Really,
I believe this one.
I believe this one. I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I do. I think I do.
Well, I mean that's different. Like this guy was intentional.
Yeah.
With his,
well, that's what I'm saying. He put that intention out there.
Yeah, like he was like, "That's it."
That's it.
And.
Yeah.
If you're all screwed now. Yeah. Like I tried to help you people.
Yeah. They said like of recent it has gotten a little better. Like,
really?
In the last few years, but
oh really?
Yeah, they said like all the way through it was just like.
Oh my God.
I mean, look, these things happen. It does happen to be like an area where you have like a lot of mining and power plants and things like that, so that lends itself to it. But it does seem a little bit much for this one area.
It's a concentrated little area for a lot of tragedy.
Yeah. And if you're looking at a map, I was looking at where it is. It's like this little triangle on the bottom. I was trying to explain it where like the Ohio River is and it splits Ohio and West Virginia.
Okay.
And that's like where the most of it happens.
Okay.
The bad stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's a valley, so.
Yeah, like in that area.
Valleys are weird too. They're like valleys to me, like are just weird geographical arrangements where energy can get stuck easier.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I wonder if we could go through other geographical valleys and be like, is there a concentration of bad things in a valley versus like other places? But I don't believe it. I don't believe in curses. I don't.
Yeah.
I think that I believe in negative energy. That I believe in.
Yeah.
That I believe in. But this is something a little different because it was so pointed and they really did screw this guy over. But I mean, maybe people also have a lot of guilt about it too. You know?
Could. I mean, they really did. I mean, Cornstalk, we know it was a red-blue. He was trying to do the right thing.
Right. We don't have pictures, so we just know.
Yeah, he was trying to make peace. You know, do it right by everything, and then
they kill his kid and him for like no reason.
For nothing.
That's how it was.
That's how it was. Terrible.
Wow.
That's terrible.
All right, well, that was a bummer.
But yeah, it was like when I was reading it, and I think we mentioned it before with the Mothman episode. I didn't want to give it away, first of all. But then I was like, wait a second. Because, like, you know, I forget things. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is
the
Point
Mothman
Pleasant.
one.
And I was like, oh, I got to do this one.
I wonder if at the Mothman Festival, which is your most desired location to go to ever.
And that's coming up in September.
I know. Poor Scott. The kids always have school. It's like the kids. You should just go alone.
Just me?
We should just send you by yourself.
Like I just go to the Mothman Festival? I walk around with...
Yeah. Yo, you'd be happy. Don't act like you wouldn't. You like love it there.
I got shirts. I got a lot of shirts. I got stuff.
Yeah, you've even talked to the people at the Mothman Museum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I wonder if they talk about Chief Cornstalk at the Mothman Festival.
I could be a guest speaker one year. I want to be a guest speaker at the festival.
Goals.
Yeah. That's my meditation.
KYA goals.
Next time we do the 8-8 meditation.
You should like try to sell yourself to it. Like, hi, I'm a podcast host of Know Your Aura podcast.
Right.
I'm a Mothman aficionado.
Yeah. And enthusiast.
And a historian of the area. Like, just make it up.
All right, we have a quick ad. Come back. You're going to do an update for us.
Had a little reality check with my skincare routine. It is, we're finishing up summer over here, in and out of the pool, all those chemicals, all the sunscreen, salt from the ocean. I mean, I've been in and out of air conditioning, so it can look a little dry and unhealthy. And so the Undaria Exfoliate and Glow Duo is just the thing that I've been using to rehab my sun-soaked skin and prep it for fall. This little dynamic duo of Osea features two of their best-selling products infused with nourishing seaweed and designed to elevate your summer body care. I love all of Osea's products. You've heard me talk about them. I use them all the time. And their Exfoliate and Glow Duo, just using them together, you just really just take off all those gross layers that really shouldn't be there. And then you hydrate it up with the Undaria LJ body oil. And you just feel like $1,000,000 after you do it. I mean, the glow, the smell, the feeling. It's just, I did something good for myself and I literally glow afterwards. So you can save and glow with the Undaria Exfoliate and Glow Duo. It is the perfect way to try Osea's best-selling products at an incredible value. You'll save 16% on the Undaria Exfoliate and Glow Duo. Plus, with our promo code, you'll get an additional 10% off. Also, don't forget, you always get free samples with every order and free shipping on orders over $60. Remember, Osea's been making seaweed-infused products that are safe for your skin and the planet for over 27 years. Everything they make is clean, vegan, cruelty-free, and climate-neutral certified, so you never have to choose between your values and your best skin. So prep your best skin for fall with clean vegan skincare from Osea. And right now we have a special discount just for our listeners. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code KYA at OseaMalibu.com. Head to Osea, O-S-E-A, Malibu.com and use code KYA for 10% off. So I wanted to do a little update. I'll start here. So a few weeks ago, episode 194, I talked about how how people on the other side speak to you. And I tried to include some ways that our loved ones on the other side will attempt to communicate with us that are kind of off the beaten path or aren't run of the mill. And one of them is where if you see someone who looks like somebody that you know who's passed. So let's say you're just at the grocery store and you're like, oh my God, that looks just like my dad. You can't keep your eyes off of him, but your dad passed, but this guy just looks just like your father. And maybe you even, it's like, oh my gosh, look at that. And maybe you even follow him around a little bit. And it just makes you, it's like crazy how much they resemble, your dad. That's actually not something to brush off or be like, oh my God, that's so weird or whatever. That's actually, the way I see it, your loved one on the other side coming through, messing with your third eye perception and saying hi. It's their way of being like, hey, how are you? I'm here. I'm still here. And it's their way of it's their little nudge to show you that they're still around you. It's a weird one that I never heard anybody talk about. And I gave examples on that episode of how I've seen it, in my own house and with a client. But I wanted to bring this up because somebody on the page, Heather J, she wrote just a beautiful post where this happened, and I want to share it with you. Maybe you saw it on the page, maybe you didn't, but here. She wrote, wow, I had about an hour drive ahead of me today to go have lunch with a friend. Naturally, I turned on the podcast to the latest episode, 194. I had no idea how much I needed it, but that's not the weird part. The friend and I were sitting at lunch, and I glanced over across the place, and I swear I saw our friend that passed in November. She had the same hand mannerisms, the way she moved her mouth, same hair color, and the way she tucked it behind her ears, everything. It was just bizarre. And then I thought, holy crap, just talked about this. I told my friend about it, and she looked over and immediately teared up. And then she wrote, thank you, our friend passed quite suddenly in November from melanoma. We had lunch at the place where we all three worked together in our 20s and now are in our 40s. I'm just so thankful that you mentioned that sign because I would have never guessed that it was her. So, and then she gave me a picture of her beautiful friend. And this is really why I wanted to do it, because I was looking at this picture and I just got so much from it. So I just wanted to tap in, and I thought we all could just hear what her friend had to say. So I'm an empathic medium. So the way I get my messages is through emotions and personality. And so I'm looking at Heather, your friend, and you posted her picture, and this is what I get from it. I first just get this larger than life, bubbly energy coming through. She doesn't want anybody to cry about it. And she's saying that she fought really, really hard. And she just wants you to remember that tenacity. And she's also on the other side, just as tenacious as she was in life. And she feels just really like the way I hear her coming through, it's like a really loud laugh, like just very, very loud and distinct. But if you know her, it just makes you laugh too. So very contagious laugh. And she's giving that to me, and it's just really sweet. And she's over the top and she's bubbly. I feel like she was married. I get a guy around her, and he's kind of quiet, and it's hard. Obviously, this just happened, and this is fresh, and it'll always be fresh. When somebody dies, it's always fresh. But I just get with him, he's quiet, and it just feels like we worry about him, I think is the message. So she wants him to know that she's around a lot. And I do get a random something with the television, and it's for him. And I don't know what this means. I don't know if I almost hear like the noises on all the time. So I don't know if he's always keeping the TV on just to drown things out, or, not feel lonely or something. There's something with the TV and her. And she just wants him to know that she's present. I also get dogs. It feels like they had fur children. So I just get like I get dogs, and I just get, oh my gosh. And she feels like, well, she was yellow purple. So she does feel like she was fun, like a lot of purple, a lot of fun energy, but she also feels like she could keep it together, and she could definitely clean the place. And I just get that, she's funny because she's making fun of how he's keeping the place up and whatnot. And, something about there needs to be more light in the house. Okay. So I feel like her humor is coming through here because she wants to kind of pick on her husband a little bit about having doing things differently than what she did, but she's really just trying to make him laugh is what she's trying to do. And I feel like that was part of her humor and part of her personality. I also get the letter A around her in some capacity. And I feel like she just comes through to her friend group all the time in terms of she just doesn't want people. She's the type, like, have a shot and have one for her. That's the type of person she feels like, include her in all the parties, include her in all the fun stuff, because she was a really fun person. And she feels like she could, I don't know, she's saying, like, get dirty, but she could clean up real good. So I wonder if she was a little outdoorsy, but girly at the same time. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because it was so strong and there was so much love attached to your post. And wow. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that on the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family page. I love when you guys share your stories. I love when you share your signs. I feel like it helps us all connect and see things differently and connect to spirit in just a greater way. I was getting into a style rut. It happens to the best of us. You just end up wearing the same thing over and over and over again. And you look around and you're like, hey, other people are progressing with the fashions. And I don't know how to do that. Well, guess what? Stitch Fix totally helps me out. I have a stylist. She's a fashion expert who shops for me and knows exactly what I like and what I don't like, what will fit me. And she sends me pieces in my budget. She just makes shopping easier. Stitch Fix is the best way to shop new styles and brands. Refresh that wardrobe. Get out of your style rut. You can think of them as your style partner. Your stylist will learn about your tastes and collaborate with you on looks you'll love without breaking the bank. You simply share your style, sizes, budget with a quick style quiz, and Stitch Fix sends you 5 items in a fix right to your door. You can even add notes for your stylist. I do that all the time. With your choices in mind and sizes from extra small to 3XL, they'll find your perfect fit. Over time, Stitch Fix and their seasoned style experts will match you with greater precision to perfect pieces for you based on your likes and dislikes. It's so easy. It is so easy. So thank you, Stitch Fix. They just get me and they'll get you too. Try today at stitchfix.com/KYA and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's stitchfix.com/KYA, stitchfix.com/KYA. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
Okay, so last week in our overtime, we talked about how if there is a zombie apocalypse, like the MMSF needs to figure out a place that we can join together and restart society. Obviously, we are the most normal place where you would want to do that. It would be a nice society. You don't want to be with the other communes. They might try to eat you or whatever. But we don't know where to go. Okay. And we asked the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family to bring us their aura colors and their good ideas because we have to settle. We have to settle on a place. I'm not even pretty much joking about it, actually. So we also have to call this overtime.
All right. And, okay, so basically
rules of overtime.
Yeah, all right. You want to do the rules of overtime?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay. What are you go?
We always have to do the rules of overtime. All right, do the rules of overtime. Okay, it's overtime. That means that like you don't have to be here anymore.
Leave. Yeah, you can leave.
You can leave. You might want to leave. And I don't know, if you're easily insulted, you might want to go.
Yeah.
Only because we're not watching really what we say.
Exactly. And if we insult you, it's not on us, it's on you.
Yeah, because you stayed.
You stayed.
You stayed.
Yeah.
You stayed.
You stayed. It's your fault.
But we're not mean.
Yeah.
We might just be honest.
Yeah. I mean, like Petro Hanchar is with us right now. He's in the background. He's like telling me things to say. No, Petro, no.
Yeah.
Petro.
We just take the leash off, Scott.
Yeah.
And here we go. Okay.
All right. So the goal of this is we came up with a place many years ago called Rock Creek to meet if there was any sort of apocalypse.
It's in Ohio.
But we feel maybe that's not the greatest spot.
It's too far away.
Yeah. And so when you posted it on the page, I think you said it has to be a zombie.
It's apocalypse. A zombie. It's keep the zombies in mind and also, all
right.
Now, neighboring bad people.
I'm going to be honest. I have not looked at any of the comments yet of where we're going. So I want to do this my gut reaction.
Okay. I've been looking at them. These are amazing.
And I'm just going to kind of go in order here.
Okay.
I don't know, we're not going to get to them all, but because I think there was almost 100 of them. But all right.
Yeah.
All right. Kat L said, somewhere in Chicago.
Oh.
I've never been there. Oh, and everyone gave their colors too, by the way.
Yeah.
So she is green, turquoise, and purple.
Okay.
And she said somewhere in Chicago. Never been there, but I'm sure there's lots of places to hide and good food.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the last places I want to go. The food is great there, but don't get me wrong. All the great restaurants are going to be closed.
Yeah, and it's more people equal more zombie bodies.
Yeah, what are we going to see? Like,
think about
jazz musician zombies and.
I mean, I can see Turquoise is thinking that would be a good idea because they're like, oh, we'll just be friends with the zombies, but no, they're not going to be your friends.
I mean, you want a Portillo's hot dog, and you're not going to be able to get one. Like, all right, so we're going to say no to that one, and we love Kat. She's a big contributor.
We love Kat.
Kat, yeah, we're not going to Chicago.
Oh, we can't. We can't do that.
All right, let me do the next one.
Okay, yeah, you do the next one.
Leanne M says Disney World. I'm not going. First of all, I'm not going there in good times. Specifically, Magic Kingdom. It's so magical, everyone would forget there was an apocalypse in the first place. We could all meet up at Cinderella's castle and lock all the doors, go all the way to the top where the zombies couldn't get us. I've been confirmed pink, blue, but I've really been feeling pink lately. Yeah. Ever since being confirmed. Okay.
I would say that.
That's
you are definitely pink. That's an insane plan, and we can't do that.
I would say that's like instant death. Like we all died.
We're not all going to fit.
Yeah. I mean, someone's going to drop Rapunzel's hair, let the zombies up, and that's it. We're done.
That is another problem. Like, the indigos and the blues are going to try to make pets out of the zombies.
Okay.
And you can't trust the indigos. You can't trust the blues because we're going to think we can keep some of them as pets.
All right.
So you can't trust us. And I think at Disney, that might, there's like going to be little kid zombies. It's not good. We can't be around it.
Right. And it's going to be crowded. I mean, it's already crowded. There's so many people there.
Yeah.
Now.
All right. Well, I have this one. It was hysterical.
Okay. What do you have?
Kara W says, as a purple blue. Oh, I can't even get through it. Hang on. Okay. As a purple blue, I made peace with not surviving.
So she said I died?
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to get my box of wine and I'm just going to like drink it. And, she's just going to end it in a great way. Right. She's just like, it's fine. We're just going to peace out until it's over. Okay. But so this is why it's so funny. As a purple blue, I made peace with not surviving. But if this is an option, I change my mind. I'll let everyone else plan since I'm up for anything and happy to just be included.
So we saved your life.
So many purple blues commented and were like, yeah, me too. I just thought I'll just die. They were just going to be like, maybe I'll be a zombie. Maybe I'll be food for a zombie, whatever. Okay. I made peace with it. But now... Look, now we're changing their minds, the purple blues.
Okay. So basically we're saying in the zombie apocalypse, purple blues are the first to go?
Purple blues are so go with the flow that they're like, fine.
Yeah.
It's my time.
What?
like everyone else.
But they're also not going to survive, other than the ones that are in our group. All right. Rianne Y writes, she's purple, blue to go.
Okay.
All right. This one, I think, this could work.
Okay.
Somewhere in western Kansas or in the Flint Hills.
Okay.
Of Kansas. Oh, that's great because I've never been to Kansas. So right off the bat, that was pretty good. It's very sparsely populated. Uh-huh. Good. Good place for growing crops. Good. There will be barbed wire fences and livestock we can collect and use to reinforce a compound.
Okay.
Lots of gun and ammo. Yeah, they love their guns out there. In most of the abandoned farmhouses.
Yes. Oh, yeah, they're thinking.
Yeah, but if the farmer didn't flee, they'd probably shoot you. Yeah. So you got to be careful there. There's always a downside.
You have to be careful.
We can get up on a hill where you can clearly see it every direction for miles. And she's clearly thought about this before.
Yes.
And okay, that's a contender.
That sounds good. It's a little open.
I feel like
I saw Walking Dead. Remember the Walking Dead episode where they were in a farmhouse and it's bad. You have to dig a huge ditch around it.
Yeah.
Huge ditch, fortified ditch.
Okay.
And then you're good. Yeah, I like that. Heather Ann writes, because she's indigo, turquoise, and green, so this all makes sense. We should go to Hobbiton in New Zealand. I always wanted to live like a hobbit. It's her big plan.
Okay.
And Jenna writes, me too.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
That's so funny. I love that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then another turquoise green person writes, I'll be at the Earth ships in Taos, New Mexico with all the other turquoises and greens. That's possible. that they all might go there.
Okay.
Lot of plugs for New Zealand. I think a lot of people are into New Zealand.
Yeah. All right. Well, Suzanne B tells us to go to Santa Barbara. Great vibe, and she recommends it. Well, I mean, look, yes, if we were going on vacation, because she says anywhere along the California coastline is amazing. She's blue and green. And yes, I agree with that. Santa Barbara is very lovely. Yeah,
in the zombie apocalypse, is that the case?
Yeah, do you want a lot of surfing zombie dudes coming after you?
CJB, I feel like I really would trust her. Okay. She's saying, this is so serious, and this is why I appreciated this. The Selway Bitterroot Wilderness area.
Okay.
It is among the most remote and rugged wildernesses in the U.S. and would not only be hard for zombies to maneuver, but its terrain would also make it hard for predatory people to get us. Because it's such an expansive wilderness, there wouldn't be a lot of zombies there to begin with because there is also not a lot of people there. Also, I am so familiar with the Selway River that I could show you all a real good time tubing some rapids with Trulies in hand. I don't know what that means. And there are plenty of precious gems in that area for all you turquoises out there.
Okay.
She's just really she really had, she wanted to know her colors because she doesn't know them, and she is yellow indigo.
Okay. Well, KCM says, obviously, St. Louis. Obviously. Because there's so much crime there. The zombies would get caught in the crossfire, and then we can start using them as shields. I mean, I guess so. I mean, yeah. I mean,
there's a lot of crime there.
I guess. Apparently, Casey says there's a lot of crime.
So she thinks the criminals will turn into zombie vigilantes and protect us all.
Yeah, and then Jessica T, who is pink, yellow, purple, tells us to go to the Amalfi Coast in Italy. We can live off croissants. That's what all the influencers are doing right now. Every influencer, is right now in the Amalfi Coast, right? They spend the summers there, and they post 50 pictures of it. So we don't want to go where the influencers are. So
because they're zombies influencers now. Yeah. And I think that might be worse.
That could be worse.
That could be worse.
These are fantastic.
Heather writes, Montenegro. I don't know why. I just heard it's beautiful. It's not. Melena, who is a turquoise pink, puts a picture of a UFO and just says, just beam me up already.
Suzanne E, who is, and she's one of the discussion groups, blue, indigo, green. My husband and I have always said we'd meet at Cades Cove in the Smoky Mountains.
They have one too.
Oh, first of all, that is a beautiful spot. It is packed with people in the summertime. It's beautiful, has resources, clean water, and is away from all the cuckoo stuff, except for the tourists that come there. So there would be a lot of cuckoo tourists trying to get bears, because it's known for bears in that area. Yeah. So that would be out.
That's a good idea.
You got any more? Jill W, Cape Breton Island.
Oh, okay.
We can watch the beautiful sunset and view and drink a lot of Coke. That was a reference because I said in Canada I didn't have a Coke. I couldn't find Coke. That's why I had to turn around.
Yeah.
So
you're Lisa L writes, pretty sure I'm indigo. Definitely not my house. We're not. So I guess we can't go there.
Can't go to her house.
I am preparing, but prefer to be alone. All right, Lisa. We won't come.
We're not going.
I also have a spot at a friend's house for the end times. He has specifically created.
Don't need to tell us twice.
Whoa, who's your friend? Look at this.
What do we got?
I also have a spot at a friend's house for the end times. He has specifically created a town and has selected people with certain skill sets
where
that he would allow to live there in hopes that we would survive.
So where is this? Did they give the town?
And then somebody wrote, can I join your town? And she wrote, you can come stay at my house, but my friend that actually built a town for the apocalypse only has room for a certain number of people, and all the spots are full. Well, sorry.
Wait a second. Where's this? Does he tell the spot?
They're not telling us.
Oh, they're not telling the spot.
No.
Do they have room for podcasters? You're going to need 2 podcasters to talk nonsense.
All right. That guy's prepared.
All right. Well,
all right.
I'm out. I'm sticking with Rock Creek.
I'm going with CJB.
CJB?
CJB is my...
Was that the green?
That's the one in the... I forget already what she said, but...
You're going with that one?
I'm going with her. The indigo yellow.
I'm probably going...
go tubing with Trulies.
The tube. That sounds nice. I'm going to go with... I think I'm going with the Flint Hills, because I've never been there.
Okay, with the barbed wire?
Yeah.
I could do that, too.
Yeah, I think we're going to get killed there, but... at least I get to Kansas.
Someone wrote Mount Shasta. I don't know what that is.
I think that's in California. Just like on a hike?
Just Mount Shasta?
Oh,
anyone?
okay. Yeah,
Anyone?
maybe.
I like Lisa.
Maybe they're
That's
just giving,
I'm going to be
suggestions.
alone and you can't come. Like, okay.
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
you
we'll
guys.
figure it out, guys. We're not there yet.
Up for discussion.
Yeah.
To be continued.
Yeah, and the land has no curses on the land. We got to do our research.
Oh, we have to make
sure there's no curse on the land.
All right. Well, this podcast is for you and about you, and we're so glad you spent some time with us today.
Hello, podcast fans. If you're looking for a new podcast, if you enjoy articles, books, pop culture, and hilarity, try listening to the Brain Candy Podcast.
That's right. The Brain Candy Podcast has over 500 episodes of educational hilarity to satiate your learning needs. Just search for the Brain Candy Podcast on your podcast app or click the link in the show notes.